Teofimo Lopez is back in action even after taking more hits than expected in his bout with Clagett. Clagett showed heart, but Lopez's skill level is on another plane post-fight. Lopez dropped a bombshell. He's retiring. Teofimo Lopez had an outstanding night in Miami Beach on Saturday. He defended his WBO and Ring Magazine Junior welterweight titles with a dominant performance against Canadian veteran Steve Clagett at the James L. McKnight Center. The judges scored the fight 1-2-0, 1-0-8, 1-2-0-8, and 119-109, all in favor of Lopez. Lopez expressed his gratitude after the fight, acknowledging Clark as a tough opponent who shouldn't be underestimated. Lopez felt that while many people were focusing on other fighters, he wanted to show what he could deliver to the fans, and he did just that. From start to finish, Lopez controlled the fight, winning every round on 2 judges' scorecards and all but 1 round on the 3rd card. Clagett was aggressive as expected, pressuring Lopez right from the beginning. However, Lopez handled the pressure well, countering Clagett perfectly throughout the fight. Lopez threw a career-high 94-46 punches and landed a career-high 315, showcasing his dominance in what turned out to be a one-sided match despite Clagg's strong chin and relentless pace. Lopez was able to beat him to the punch in almost every exchange despite his win. Lopez still looked like a shadow of his former self. His head is not in the game like it used to be 6 years ago, and he still is only 26 years old even after the fight. Lopez said that despite congratulating him, Bob Run was not looking too happy. Lopez already clearly displayed signs of retirement, but it seems that now it couldn't be more clear. If he decides to retire right now, it would be up to Lopez himself, but he still might get a chance. It's actually depressing to see a 26-year-old boxer retire, but sometimes young boxers get too exhausted too early in their careers. And if his promoters aren't exactly impressed, he might even not get the chance to fight Terence Crawford before retirement, as Lopez himself claimed he would retire instantly after that fight. Let's take a look at the fight. Teofimo Lopez had a spectacular performance against Steve Carter, dominating from start to finish, entering the ring to Michael Jackson's Beat It, and dressed in a white tuxedo-style robe with gold trim. Lopez was clearly in good spirits, aiming to improve on his previous outing. Clagett started strong, pressuring Lopez and pushing the pace, but Lopez countered well, landing some solid shots despite being up against the ropes as the fight progressed. Lopez's precision and timing became more apparent, especially in the 2nd round, where he began to find his rhythm counter-punching effectively against Clagg's relentless pressure by the middle rounds. Lopez was in full control in the 3rd and 4th rounds. Clagett continued to press forward, but Lopez's counters were sharp and effective even when backed into corners. Lopez managed to land significant punches, showing his comfort and skill. Under pressure, the 5th round saw Lopez throw over 100 punches for the first time in his career, indicating his high output and dominance despite Clagett's aggressive approach. Lopez's accuracy and strategic countering kept him ahead on the scorecards as the fight moved into the later rounds. Lopez's dominance continued to shine by the 8th and 9th rounds. He was clearly outlandishing Clagett, using his legs well and finding success with uppercuts and body shots. Clagg's chin held strong, but he was unable to hurt Lopez, who was content to let the fight play out with his superior counterpunching in the championship rounds. Lopez maintained his high punch output and continued to outbox Clagett, cruising to a unanimous decision. Victory. By the final round, it was clear that only a knockout could save Clagett, but Lopez's career-high punches and dominant performance ensured a comfortable win in his 2nd title defense. After the fight, Lopez mentioned the possibility of moving up to welterweight due to the difficulty of cutting weight for this fight. However, he also acknowledged that there are intriguing matchups for him at 140 libs, where 3 different champions hold titles. Lopez said that although it might not look like he can handle himself at 147 lbs, he believes he can and is eager to face great champions, indicating that he does not shy away from any challenge at 140 lbs. Potential opponents include Isaac Cruz, Liam Paro, and the recently elevated Alberto Pello, all of whom could provide exciting matchups for Lopez if he stays in the junior welterweight division. Now, to be honest, no one expected this bombshell from Teofimo Lopez after his loss against George Kambosos Jr. Many fans thought it was the end for him, but it's good that he is picking up confidence again. It's pretty clear what Teofimo Lopez should do next. He needs to unify against champion at 140 lbs and then aim to become the undisputed champion in that weight class. This would give him enough time to grow into his body at 147 pounds. If he can achieve undisputed status at 140, he could then move up to 147 for a few big title fights towards the end of his career. Physically, he's in his prime from around 28 to 32 years old, and his strength will likely peak between 30 and 40. There's no need for him to please casual fans by fighting Tank Davis or Terence Crawford, who aren't even in his weight class. His focus should be on becoming the undisputed champion at 140 lbs. However, looking at his recent career moves, it seems like he might not have a clear plan. After his big win against Lenko, he had a disappointing loss to Kambosos Jr. Then after defeating Taylor, he fought Ortiz and Clagett, which could be seen as steps backward. The big fights with his contemporaries were at 135 lbs, but he's outgrown that weight class. Fights against Paro and Cruz at 140 might seem high risk with low reward, but they are necessary for unification and potential undisputed status. Championship fights can't happen every time, and staying active even against journeymen is important. Unifying with champions like Paro or Pitbull Cruz isn't high risk or low reward. It's essential for his career progression. Teofimo should focus on unifying at 140 lbs. He even called out Pitbull Cruz immediately after his last fight, showing that he's thinking along the right lines. This path isn't complicated if you don't get distracted by unnecessary concerns. The key is to focus on unification and becoming the undisputed champion at 140 pounds before moving up to 147 for even bigger challenges. Teofimo Lopez has confirmed his desire to fight Terence Crawford following his victory over Steve Clark last Saturday night. Despite his enthusiasm, many see this as an unlikely matchup, and some fans even think he's joking. Lopez, who now holds a record of 21 wins and 1 loss with 1 knockout, dreams of becoming a 3-division world champion. If he can't secure a fight with Crawford, he has his eyes set on Brian Norman Jr. Lopez believes taking on these challenges would cement his legacy and make him a 3-division world champion by the age of 27. However, it's difficult to take Teofimo seriously when he talks about taking risks. Since his big win against Vasyl Lomachenko in 2020, he hasn't faced any significant challenges. His fight against George Kambosos Jr. in 2021, which he was expected to win easily, ended in an upset loss. Since then, his fights have been relatively safe, including his recent bout with Clagett, who is considered a fringe contender with 8 losses. If Teofimo is truly serious about taking risks, he should aim for a fight with Brian Norman Jr. for the WBO welterweight title. A victory could build the moment and public pressure needed for a potential match against Crawford. Lopez talks about wanting to fight the best and take on tough challenges, but his recent opponents don't reflect that ambition. Fans believe Teo's pursuit of a fight with Crawford is more about the money than anything else. He hasn't been fighting in the welterweight or junior middleweight divisions to position himself for a Crawford fight, nor has he been taking on the right opponents at 140 lbs to boost his profile, while Crawford has his own plans, likely targeting a fight against Canelo Alvarez after his upcoming bout against Israel Madrio on August 3rd. What are your thoughts? Drop them down in the comments below.